For most, the riveting passion of intense sexual attraction does not last. From one-night stands to the 7-year itch, the allure of a single person wanes. Humor becomes stale, attitudes predictable, sex infrequent. The magic disappears. Lasting relationships are becoming so rare, researchers wonder if we are genetically predisposed against them. Some couples, however, maintain their yearning over decades, finding a mysterious fountain of eternal sexual attraction among the gardens of the unexplained. In 1928, Chicago seemed a jewel of opportunity and excitement for 18-year-old Flo Hyman. She lived with her family in a neat bungalow outside the city. Flo had dated several boys since graduating from high school, but no one special. One night, Flo's older brother, a student at the University of Illinois, invited her to campus for a chamber music concert.
He said, this evening we're going to go to a concert, and I have asked one of my fraternity brothers to come along. But, he said, he is such a brilliant student. He has no interest in girls. And he's
None whatsoever.
None whatsoever. And he's so brilliant that I was really intimidated, and I thought, if I can't discuss Plato and Aristotle to him, then I'm going to look very stupid. So I decided I'll address everything to my brother. And that's what I did.
When Flo got home, she confessed to her sisters her admiration for Herb Levy, the boy who had no interest in girls, and lamented that she would never hear from him again. But 2 weeks later, in a letter, she did.
In the letter, he had sketched a picture of himself from looking at himself in a mirror.
Of course, I exaggerated.
And he said, just in case you don't remember meeting me, I'm sending you this picture of
I was
myself.
even more handsome then.
The letter also included an invitation to a fraternity dance. Within a few months, the two were going steady.
I found that he had a really delicious sense of humor, and I thought, well, he's not so scary.
Maybe scared, but not scary.
Financial considerations and Herb's schooling prevented the two from getting married, and living together was not an option for respectable young people. Their attraction for each other was confined to loving glances and holding hands as they walked through the park. Finally, after 8 years of dating, Herb asked Flo's father for permission to marry his daughter.
I said to him, I would like to have your daughter's hand. And he said to me, what, after 8 years you only want her hand?
He had a wonderful sense.
So that was all, it was agreed.
Yeah.
I got the whole woman.
Yeah.
Nearly 70 years, 1 daughter and 3 grandchildren later, the longevity of the Levy's attraction still remains a mystery to them.
It's a feeling you have that this is someone that is a necessary part of your life, and this is the one you want to spend the rest of your days with.
I hope so.
That's the kind of love. It isn't that you admire her hair, which you do, or whether you admire her face, which is very pretty, or that you
see why I
admire
love
her
him?
sense of humor, which is the best, or her keen intelligence.
My goodness, I'm going to run for office.
But all of that just builds together, and that's the image you have that is just as a part of you as breathing.
Is there a magical secret to long-lasting attraction? Or is Cupid's arrow really the work of a perfect cocktail of chemicals? Researchers say it's a combination of both. They suggest the same hormones that spark the first fires of sexual attraction may also keep them smoldering, and they are finding evidence in the animal world. Sue Carter and her colleagues at the University of Maryland are studying a rodent known as the Midwest prairie vole. They have discovered that 2 hormones, oxytocin in females and vasopressin in males, appear to cause the voles to form lifelong partnerships. The same hormones are produced by humans. In the female vole, oxytocin works very much like a love potion.
We've found that if females are exposed to oxytocin by having it directly reach the brain, this causes them to form an attachment with whomever they're with when they receive that hormone.
Humans know oxytocin as the touch hormone. Some scientists hypothesize that as couples in love continue to touch each other for up to several months, baseline oxytocin levels rise, creating a love high of sorts, while the lack of touch might drop oxytocin levels, creating a craving.
After a while of continuity of touch, your oxytocin levels go up just at the thought of the person. It's like the superglue of relationships. It keeps us in touch, and it fosters love and affection.
The other hormone, vasopressin, compels male prairie voles to tenaciously protect their family and may have a similar effect on humans.
Vasopressin seems to be able to cause a male prairie vole to make a rather permanent change in behavior so that he goes from being totally non-aggressive to being very aggressive, in fact, being a killer. The aggression in this case is only directed outside of the family. It's specifically aimed at eliminating competitors and also at keeping away other animals that might harm the family.
Biology can provide interesting clues to the mystery of lifelong love affairs. But brain chemicals and hormones cannot explain it all. Some anthropologists look at the cultural mores of society to find the active ingredients in long-term relationships. Helen Fisher interprets these relationships as the exceptions to the rule. She sees humans as biologically predisposed to having a long series of sexual attachments.
It's almost as if Mother Nature cooked up quite a plot. We have this tremendous drive to court, a tremendous need to fall in love, the brain physiology for infatuation, then that wanes, we move into attachment, and often we become restless in long relationships, we break up, and then we fall in love again.
Fisher believes then that successful, decades-long attachments reflect a couple's willingness and ability to ignore biological dictates and adhere to societal norms.
We live in a culture that says to marry for life, which we want to do. We want to follow the rules, and in fact, many people do. That's the triumph of culture over nature.
In sexual attraction, culture controls the bald edicts of biology. Group sex and infidelity may be biologically preferred, but culture has sanctions against those activities. Sexual attraction for the human animal includes the variations of human will. Between the compulsion for sex and the act itself is a moment of decision, a consciousness possessed by humans alone.
When other animals are hit with pheromones and scents and testosterone and oxytocin and they're preparing for sex, the animals don't say, gee, I wonder if I should do that or not. Shall I or shan't I? They are dictated by their hormones. Humans are not. We can be powerfully overwhelmed by them. We can feel in their grip, and we can be temporarily in their grip. But we have choice, and we exercise it often.
Throw the ability to choose into the cauldron containing biology, instinct, culture, history, and politics. And the bubbling stew that results is sexual attraction undergoing constant redefining, where exceptions may occur almost as often as the rule. Exceptions that are not always readily accepted in today's world.
We are at the moment living in a very unenlightened world where from a spiritual point of view, we have extremely prejudicial views that are based on our idea of what should be right and what should be wrong. If they were to examine their inner selves, they'll find that even though they may act socially as just this person, they have the full range of sexual experience within their own selves. They've had every single thing that is experienced out there. There's an element of that in every human being.
Even the top scientists studying sexual attraction admit that what might seem like the most obvious of questions is still an enigma.
Love is a divine mystery that will never change. No matter how much We try to dissect the mystery. There will always be some quirky, quivering, little protoplasmic element of it just out of reach.
We don't understand why any of us experience the kinds of attractions we do. We don't understand what's responsible for the intensity of attractions. These are all things that we need to understand. Sex touches the lives of every human being in a very personal and intimate fashion, and yet that powerful force that we all experience, we know very, very little about.
Sexual attraction is our preoccupation, our curse, and our ecstasy. It is the core of our species and the root to our biological purpose. But how it happens is one of the most enchanting mysteries of the unexplained.